welcome. How's it going, everyone? Poop, says Joel. Big day for you. Hi, how's it going? Now, big important update. I remembered to turn on my compressor this time. If you were here last week, I did like a 2-hour long stream. It was a lot of fun. Forgot to turn my compressor on, so the audio sounded like trash. I think there were people in the chat trying to warn me that the audio sounded bad, but I did not notice. But it sounds good now. Yes, LA Western Plays. It sounds good. Big day. And I'm going to need that compression because I'm going to be recording some voiceover. I've spent this morning finishing off the script for the next Eddache video. And I wanted to... So the previous couple of videos, I had been doing them in like piecemeal, where I'd write a bit of the script, record that part, send it off to the editor so they can work on that while I do the next one, and so on. But that meant that I was like, thank you for the bits. Here we go, Joel.
How does cat dog poop?
He has a hole where their belly button conjoins. It comes out of that. Yeah, so normally I'll do that. I would write a bit, record it. That while that's being edited, I'm writing, recording the next part. But that meant that I basically never stopped working. And I've decided to instead, for this one, go back to how I should be doing it, which is write the complete script first. Then record the whole thing. Then hand the whole thing over, thus giving myself a break. If I have to record extra bits, if I have to do like pickups or, you know, any extra parts I want to add in, that's okay. But that means I at least get to draw a line. I get to sort of stop for a bit. So fortunately, the editor right now is working on the intro of the video. I did record that part separate. But the rest of the video, the bulk of the video, is what we're going to record today. And my God, I have chosen a terrible day to do it because it's so fucking hot. I've got 2 fans. One of them's already off, and I'm noticing the difference. The second fan is right here, and I'm gonna have to turn it off when I start recording, and it's gonna get sweaty. I also have hay fever. It's just all going wrong for me. Oh, have I got bits of... No! Not bits of tissue in the beard. There we go, we're fine. Oh, what's this now?
The face when Eddache stream on my day off. Thoughts on Nintendo's E3?
It was great. The Nintendo E3 was great. I'm happy for a Tekken rep. Was surprised it was Kazuya. Like, I guess because I got into Tekken with Tekken 3, and Kazuya was in the story written out and replaced by Jin, his son. And Heihachi, his father, was in the game too. So I would have thought Heihachi would have been the rep. But no, I'm fine with Kazuya and Tekken and the music, the Tekken music. If you just stick in Tekken 3 music, I'd be happy. I'm super duper happy. It does like start making the last slot kind of scary because it's like, well, who's left? Is it going to be Gino? Is it going to be Waluigi? Is it going to be Crash Bandicoot? What's it going to be now? You know? Yeah. Yeah, so what's this script about? So, the belch. It's just everything's coming out of my face today. The moment I start this fucking stream, it's just my whole face wants to evacuate itself. This next video is about Roadrunner. Specifically, in the 70 plus years that Roadrunner and the Coyote have been, the Coyote has been chasing the Roadrunner, how often has the Coyote caught the Roadrunner? You might think none, because that would be the show over. But I have found quite a lot. So, because I watched a lot of Roadrunner. Like 70 years, remember? So I watched a lot of Roadrunner. A lot of Roadrunner. Including the spin-offs, including the cameos, including the movies. I watched a lot of stuff. Ooh.
Come.
Nice. What is the newest episode of Roadrunner? Well, Blem, that would be the 2020 Looney Tunes cartoons. So they've gone back to the original like Bob Clampett, Frisk Freeling, Chuck Jones style of Looney Tunes. So yeah, Bugs and Daffy's Daffy's back to being a screwball character, stuff like that. That's the latest stuff, and the Roadrunner appears in there as a short, and they're still making them. They're planning like 80 episodes, and what now?
Meep meep, look me in the Roadrunner, I'm running so fast and making a coyote have a bad day, lols.
Coyote? I mean, that was the right spelling of coyote, but coyote? Hey, retrate bits. Or retrate bites, beg your pardon. What was I saying? So yeah, the Roadrunner appears there 9 times so far. They're still making them, so more could drop while I'm making this video, for all I know. So I've just gone up as up to date as possible. And of course, there's Space Jam 2 coming out next month. So I doubt there's going to be any catching of one another in that, since it's back to the basketball. Yeah, we shall see. But really, this has become like, while I'm looking at specifically the times the coyote caught the bird. It is more also like a retrospect, a review of the history of Looney Tunes, of Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner from their origins up to modern, but also just like kind of Looney Tunes as a whole, their whole journey. Because we visit the golden era and their identity crisis, all the way up to the modern stuff, which is really just a callback to the old stuff. So they shouldn't be afraid to make new stuff that's just new. But this is what they're doing right now, because it's the safest bet, I guess. I mean, also Space Jam 2 is the safest bet, because it's like, kids aren't going to want to watch a Looney Tunes movie if they're not playing basketball. And it's like, come on, they are not basketball players. This was just a Michael Jordan thing. You don't have, they're not, it's not their thing. I don't know, I'm sure the movie will be fun. I'm sure it'll be just fine. So we shall see. But anyway, I am going to record stuff now. I'm going to actually try surreptitiously. There's a bogey that's like tickling the inside of my nostril, and I'm going to try and surreptitiously get it out. Oh, it happened. It did it. Any fluff? No, all good. All good. I actually had to shave my beard a bit, like the tash. I just like trimmed it a bit shorter. For one, like when it gets too long, the nails like curl into my mouth, and it makes it an asshole to eat with, because it just hair keeps going in my mouth. Also because I've got hay fever right now, I have to blow my nose, and it just got it starts soaking in the moustache. It's horrible, so I've trimmed it down so it'd be easier to deal with. So, yes, it's really hot. It's super duper hot. What's the temperature right now? Temperature. It is 27 degrees Celsius. Now, I'm sure there's like Americans, Australians about who like scoff at 27 degrees. They're like, ha, sure. That's nothing. We're used to 1 million degrees. We're used to the surface of the sun. And we keep our shirts on. Whereas for us in the UK, we die if it's over 20 degrees. I mean, it's partially because generally it's like the nature of how houses are built in the UK. Houses in the UK are built to contain heat. They are very rarely built to be air conditioned. They're built to keep heat inside, because this is, generally speaking, a colder country or a milder country, right? So when we get a hot day, everyone just dies simultaneously, because it's like there's no way. It's so hard to ventilate your house because there's no aircon. I have 2 fans. That's my aircon, you know? Roadrunner is a great example that a story is never better than its villain. It's true. The coyote is like the most human character of any of the Looney Tune characters. Because he's like, and it's gotten more relevant with time, right? Because it's like the Coyotes are, the reason the Coyote is very capable. He's very smart. He's a super genius. So he can do this stuff, but it's usually like the technology is the thing that fails him. Something will go wrong and it'll backfire. And like, I think we've all been there, and this is going to come up in the script. We've all been there where it's like something, a piece of tech backfires or breaks down, or we get really angry at it and stuff like that. And how helpless we are to the tech. It's incredibly relatable. Also, like, the Coyote has hangry. He's hungry, angry. And I think that's also very, very relatable. So, anyway. I'm going to jump into record. Oh, so Joel has highlighted their message to say, can you record yourself telling say they stinky and they lost? Well, I guess you could just take the clip out of this. But how are you going to get this out? Yeah, says Laser Cheesecake. It's true. It's just the nice safe. I mean, I can't fault them. They're really, really good. But, it's just like anytime they try to do something different, they're punished for it. And then, like, just take, like, for example, the Looney Tunes show, the sitcom one. And it's like, that's fun. It's fine. It's fun. It's different, but different is good. And the show got cancelled after 2 seasons, and it's only like now, seemingly, people are like going back to it and appreciating it and being like, do you know what? That was really good. This is actually like really funny. It's a really good sitcom. So it's like, they should be allowed to experiment, because when you do, you can make something really fun out of it. Not always. Sometimes it's bad. But, like, you gotta try. And I think the Looney Tunes are so malleable that, we're only now getting, like, more experimental Mickey Mouse shorts, and they are incredible. The Paul Ruddish Mickey Mouse shorts that we're getting at the moment, the modern, the latest ones, they're great. They're really, really good. And because they've done something different. Runaway Brain was a deviation to the norm, because it has Mickey turned into like a rabid beast, but that's cool. It was great. So things prevail when they can be allowed to experiment. But I think with Roadrunner specifically, it works better within restraints. You can wiggle around what those restraints are, kinky, but it works better. The more freedom you give it, the more stuff you add to it, the less it has an impact. It's better in its most simplest form, basically. Anyway, so I'm going to get my script up, which you won't see, I'm afraid, because you are instead going to see my voice recording. So it says, you're seeing a lot of white boxes and meter offline. That's because I'm currently on the OBS window, but as soon as I click on this window, aha, they're all back. Hooray for me. Afternoon, Kaiser. I'm going to set up for recording now. So I'm going to move the mic in front of me with my pop shield here. I generally don't have the pop shield on because you need to see my face, I feel. Okay, good. I'm still... Actually, let me move that a little bit more that way. Sorry if you're getting all the microphone movement picking up through there. Hopefully I've stopped now. Hey, All Good Film. How's it going, bud? Yes. So, All Good Film is the editor of this video. And I am currently recording the bit that he's going to be working on next. What have we got here? People are talking to me, but I can ignore them. Plosives. Are we getting plosives? Are you picking up plosives now? Let me test myself. Peter picked a pint of pickle penis. Let's see how that sounds. Peter picked a pint of pickle penis. Ooh, there is a... Peter picked... It's a bit... Let me move it back a bit. There we go. Let's try that again. Peter picked a pint of pickled penis. Penis. Peter picked a pint of pickled penis. Penis. That's better. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be saying, like, hard P's directly at the mic. I'm going to, like, probably, like, tilt my head a bit because I am going to be reading a script, so it shouldn't be so bad. Lovely microphone movement ASMR. Yeah, there's a market. There's a market missing for that. So, all right. So we've done our penis now, so we can move on to the script. So I'm going to start recording. There I am. Look at me go. All right. So now I have to turn off the fan. Goodbye, fan. Oh, we got a sub. Hey, Decadane. Thank you for the sub. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're excited. I missed the message. Oh, there it is. Excited for the voiceover we're witnessing today. Thank you, Decadane. Also, I've been recording this whole thing, so I'm going to stop that, delete that, and start over again. So, all right. So this first part is about the Chuck Jones original shorts. So, okay. All right. Oh, Joel, with your bits. I was just about to record.
Cheer one, 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 pen, penis.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you so much. I will now stop recording, delete that, and start recording again. This was a mistake. This was a mistake to do this in front of you. Ooh, and the computer's even kicking up now. All right, here we go. So, all right. I have to take one ear out actually, so I can hear my own voice. It's strange. From 1949 to 1964, Chuck Jones made 24 Roadrunner cartoons. During his tenure, he created 9 disciplines. The rules that Roadrunner cartoons would follow. The rules that Roadrunner cartoons would follow. These rules weren't strictly followed. Even the principal writer, Michael Maltese, had never heard of these rules and feels like they were kinda made up after the fact. So that sounded quite nice. Let me quickly hear that back just to make sure that sounded good. These rules weren't strictly followed. Even the principal writer, Michael Maltese, had never heard of these rules and feels like they were kinda made up after the fact. There's a slight plosive there, so I'm gonna... This whole setup has seen better days. I'll keep what I've got there, but I'll record an extra version and see how that goes. All right. From 1949 to 1964, Chuck Jones made 24 Roadrunner cartoons. During his tenure, he created the 9 disciplines, the rules that Roadrunner cartoons would follow. These rules weren't strictly followed. Even the principal writer, Michael Maltese, had never heard of these rules. Even the principal writer, Michael Maltese, had never heard of these rules and feels like they were kinda made up after the fact. Let's see how that sounded. Even the principal writer, Michael Maltese, had never heard of these rules and feels like they were kinda made up after the fact. Yeah, that sounded better. All right, let's crack on then. So I mean, it's actually kind of handy you're here, Aaron, because it means I can kind of like, oh, by the way, that bit I just did, don't do that, you know. Although it just means you have to listen to everything I'm doing right now twice. Well, in fact, several times probably by the time you're done with this edit. So, all right. Okay, so I can probably just roll on to the rest. The rest is, it's 7 pages long, although I've done the first page. The 8th page doesn't count because that's just my notes. So it's 7 pages, 6 pages, really. All right. So into the next part. Here we go. All right, ear out. But it does at least show that there was some thought put into how But it does show at least. Actually, do you know what? I just had an idea. Let me stick the music back on. There we go. It's gonna be weird to record with music on. I'm just considering, like, let me stop that while I'm going. Because I was just thinking, like, I don't know, Is it okay, do you reckon, to record my voice with this? Or I don't want people to start, like, taking my clips out and making their own videos out of it. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Maybe I should... Nah, the music's going to be too distracting. No, fuck that on the head. Back to work. Back to work. Okay. Right, so I'll do that again. But it does at least show that there was some thought put into how these characters should behave to elevate it... But it does at least show that there was some thought put into how these... But it does at least show that there was some thought put into how these characters should behave to elevate it beyond just another predator versus prey cartoon. Like how Wile E. Coyote is not an idiot. He's a super genius after all. He can catch Burmese tigers, just not roadrunners. It's usually his gadgets that let him down, and if you've ever... It's usually his gadgets that let him down, and if you've ever had a... To elevate... Are you... Oh... Wait, what's happening? By the way, I can steal your voice. No, Ursula, no. To elevate it. Sorry, Aaron, is that a genuine note you're giving me here to pronounce elevate correctly? I'll do that again. But it does at least show that there was some thought put into how these characters should behave to elevate it beyond just another predator versus prey cartoon. Like, I don't know why I went here. Like how Wile E. Coyote is not just an idiot. Like how Wile E. Coyote is not an idiot. He's a super genius after all. He can catch Burmese tigers, just not roadrunners. It's usually his gadgets that let him down, and if you've... It's usually his gadgets that let him down, and if you... It's usually his gadgets that let him down, and if you... God damn it. It's usually his gadgets that let him down, and... Okay, I'm going to try... Here's what I'm trying to say. It's usually his gadgets that let him down, which if you've ever had a laptop breakdown, you know that feeling. So... It's usually his gadgets that let him down, which if you've ever had a laptop breakdown, you know that feeling. It's like Basil Fawlty getting angry at his car for breaking down. It's just very human. Eddie fails to talk. Chuck Jones shorts play like very quick sketch shows. They don't just take one invention and play around with all the different ways it can play out. Oh, God damn it. God damn it with the bits, Joel!
It's usually his gadgets let him down. Just like Eddie's ability to talk.
Thank you, Joel. Chuck Jones shorts play like very quick sketch shows. They don't just take... Chuck Jones shorts play like very quick sketch shows. They don't play... Chuck Jones shorts play... Chuck Jones's shorts play like very quick sketch shows. They don't just take one invention and play around with all the different ways it can play out. Once it fails, it's on to the next thing. This makes the episodes very quick-fire and energetic, but they all kind of blend into one another. But were there any captures? Well, there's this bit where the Roadrunner is caught inside a cannon and gets fired out, which feels a bit tenuous to call a capture. Then there's this moment where he's cornered on a cliff edge and stuck on a bridge, which has a hole cut. Okay. Then there's this moment where he's cornered on a cliff edge and stuck on a bridge, which has a hole cut out. Well, which has a hole cut out and falls away. Okay, yeah. Then there's this moment where he's cornered on the cliff edge and stuck on a bridge, which has a hole cut out and falls away, leaving behind a hole. Wait, I need a... hang on. There's this moment where he's cornered on the cliff edge, and I'm going to say this moment, where he's stuck on a bridge, which falls away, leaving. But you see the visual. It's like basically the coyote cuts a hole under the bridge, and then the whole bridge falls away apart from the part he cut out, which just stays there floating, which technically means he's stuck up there. But that's the bit what I'm trying to say. All right. So then there's this moment where he's moment where he's cornered on a cliff edge, and this moment where he's stuck on a bridge, which, God damn it, which has fallen away. There we go. Okay. God damn it, fucking boobies. All right. Then there's this moment where he's cornered on a cliff edge, and this moment where he's stuck on a bridge which has fallen away, leaving him behind. Possibly stuck? Therefore technically caught. But possibly stuck? Therefore technically caught. But as the cliff edge example shows, the Roadrunner has a flexible relationship when it comes to gravity. So this may be a stretch. So this may be a bit of a stretch. Alright. As the episodes go on, they do eventually start showing multiple jokes within. As the episodes go on, they do start. Oh god, I'm sweating already. God damn it! And I'm on page 1 of 6. As the episodes go on, they do start to. As the episodes go on, hit the mic. As the episodes go on, they do start eventually. I keep saying start too soon. They do eventually start. So, as the episodes go on, they do eventually start to show multiple jokes with the same trap premise, but other jokes start to get repeated. Maybe we need to rethink that phrasing. Do eventually show multiple jokes with the same trap premise, but other. Let me stop the record. Look at this script. So the line is, they do eventually start to show multiple jokes with the same trap premise, but other jokes start to get repeated, a sign that things were starting to go awry. So they do start showing multiple jokes with the same trap premise, but they also start repeating a lot of jokes. Alright, there we go. That's a bit better. Back to the recording. There we go. As the episodes go on, they do start of. As the episodes go on, they do eventually. As the episodes go on, they do start. Stop saying start there. It's not. It's eventually start. As episodes go on, they do eventually start to show multiple jokes with the same trap premise, but they also start repeating a lot of jokes, a sign that things were starting to go awry. Theatres closing. I can hear somebody drilling, which I'm hoping is not into my house, so maybe it's the coyote. Ooh. Theatres were closing as TV was on the rise, so in 1962, a TV pilot was made. God damn it, my script in here was made for called The Roadrunner Show. No, was made. Get rid of that word. Okay, it's the most chaotic podcast. Right, so. Theatres were closing as TV was on the rise, so in 1962, a TV pilot was made called The Roadrunner Show. This would grow the 6-minute short into a full 26 minutes. This would grow the 6-minute shorts to a full 26 minutes. This would grow the 6-minute shorts to a full 20. Hit the mic. No, don't hit the mic. This would grow the 6-minute shorts to a full 26 minutes. The pilot was not picked up and was instead repackaged as a theatrical special. The Adventures of the Roadrunner. Here we see the coyote speak, and it feels wrong. This isn't the first time he's spoken. He's been pitted against Bugs Bunny on a few occasions. But maybe that works against a wisecracking wabbit. I'm trying to say wisecracking wabbit. I've got to move R's and W's around. It's very hard for me. But maybe that works against a wisecracking wabbit. But here it's jarring and only really serves to pad out the special. It seems like a lot was gambled on the TV pilot because ultimately the special was cut up into individual shorts and the Warner Brothers Animation Studio got closed down in 1963, marking the end of the golden age of Looney Tunes. At the same time, a new animation company formed, and this is where things get a bit ugly. All right. A wise quacking rabbit. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to stop there and then just save what I've got here. I will try and prune this for you, Aaron. I won't give you this whole record session like wholesale. I will try and cut out, you know, the bits where Joel interrupts me and stuff like that. So it shouldn't be too arduous to get through this, but I am going to try and get through the whole script. I hate that I've now had to close my door. Like I'm not even getting any. I'm in a hot box, and it's only going to get hotter. All right. Next chapter, and we're literally like one sentence away to hitting page 2 of 6. So Friz Freleng was one of the best cartoon directors, renowned for his sense of comedy timing. His company DFE was hired in 1964 to take over the Looney Tunes cartoons, easily identified by this abstract intro sequence. But given that Friz Freleng was able to take Tweety, a Bob Clampett creation, and reinvent him and win an Oscar for it, then the Roadrunner cartoons seemed to be in the best possible hands. So they didn't do them. But given that Friz Freleng was able to take Tweety, a Bob Clampett creation, reinvent him, and win an Oscar for it, then the Roadrunner cartoons seemed to be in the best possible hands. So they didn't do them. Just doing a few options there. So surprisingly, they didn't do them. The first couple of episodes were just sections cut out of the Adventures of the Roadrunner special by Chuck Jones. 3 more were made in-house, including one by Friz Freleng that pitted the Roadrunner against Speedy Gonzales in a race. But all the jokes are just repeats from previous shorts. It's just so disappointing. And it gets worse when it doesn't even tell you who wins the race. Maybe that's a future video idea. I'll add it to the list. There will be a list type joke there. I know they did Ice Cubes because they did 1. Well, they did 3 in-house. Because the rest were, and you're about to find out, The remaining shorts were subcontracted subcontracted. That's what I'm trying to say. And also I'm gonna have a fun time with this person's name. Rudy La River. Cry me La River. I need to know. La River. Andale. Alright. Because it's Speedy Gonzales, you see. Alright. The remaining shorts were subcontracted to Format Films and were directed by Rudy La River. La River. That's all I got to do. It's got to say the word river and add a la. La River. The remaining shorts were subcontracted to Format Films and were directed by Rudy La River. To form the La River 11. That will fucking do. Repeating jokes, cut corners, missing sound effects, clearly suffering from a huge budget cut, and a lot of Chuck Jones's list of disciplines. I'm going to say a lot of Chuck Jones's. No, I will stick to disciplines. All right. Repeating jokes, cut corners, missing sound effects, clearly suffering from a huge budget cut, and a lot of Chuck Jones's list of disciplines were completely ignored, which is reflected in the number of capture close calls. There's a grab, but it doesn't stop the Roadrunner. There's this fight cloud and the bird getting cornered here, which may tenuously count. But there's one standout definitive, and that's Solid Tin Coyote. The coyote takes some junk, a repeat from a previous short, and builds a giant coyote robot out of it. Then, after a couple of tries, he does it. He successfully catches the Roadrunner. But the robot eats him instead. These shorts were all eventually cut up for the Roadrunner show, later merging into the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show. While they consisted mostly of repeat, in between the shorts there were these very quick bumpers, newly animated bridging segments, but these provide some new captures. Here the coyote grabs the bird. He's got him! But clearly... Nope. Here the coyote grabs the bird. He's got him. But then... Clearly the coyote learned nothing about the materializing qualities of his tunnel paintings, as anything he draws seems to come to life. Why not just eat a drawing of the Roadrunner? Super genius, my thick asshole. Okay, that was an ad-lib, and I should never ad-lib. Fuck. Okay. So to explain what happened, that's the coyote. He does a painting of Roadrunner, of the two of them, Roadrunner and the coyote, and he encourages the Roadrunner to look at the painting. He's like, look what I just did. And whilst the Roadrunner's looking, he then just fucking grabs the Roadrunner, like by his fucking neck, and he's got him. And then the painting, like, shoots him. The painting has a shotgun and it shoots the coyote. So that's why I mean, like the tunnel painting, the qualities of like things coming to life whenever he paints. So, all right. Anyway, in another one, it's very quick, but this robot grabs the bird. Another capture. Clearly robots are the way forward, except they're never programmed what to do after they've caught the bird. There's this kind of role reversal one where the Roadrunner dressed as the coyote tramples the coyote dressed as the Roadrunner. Not really a catch, but worth a mention. These have their moments, of course, but they clearly lacked that Chuck Jones quality. So in the 1970s, Chuck came back. Alright, next segment. We're now just about to hit page 3 of 6. We've got like a paragraph first, and then we're on to the next page. Ooh-wee. Alright, here we go. Rolling up. Chuck Jones returned to... Oh. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Whenever I record these, and Aaron knows all too well, whenever I record these, like, my body starts, like, kicking up everything, like any bubble. If I just have a small sip of Coke, that's like my body going... So, what happens? Alright. Chuck Jones returned to direct some short... Chuck Jones returned to direct some short Roadrunner cartoons for the Electric Company. These were made to be more educational to help with reading, so there isn't really any chasing, but he does at least lay a finger on the Roadrunner. This was followed by a couple of Bugs Bunny TV specials, Looney Christmas Tales and Bugs Bunny Busting Out All Over. I'll go fetch the mop and bucket. 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 Which included 2 Roadrunner shorts. Yeah. Aaron, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have every burp. I try to cut them out, but but yes, we do need a burp compilation now. In Soup or Sonic, Wile E. Coyote finally can. In Soup or Sonic, Wile E. Coyote finally catches the Roadrunner properly. But this catch has a catch. I'm going to try and... I want a bit more gravitas behind this, because this is like the official one. In Soup or Sonic, Wile E. Coyote finally... In Soup or Sonic, Wile E. Coyote... What coyote? I'm not saying coyote right. Coyote. In Soup or Sonic, Wile E. Coyote finally catches the Roadrunner. Properly. Seriously. But this catch has a catch. The coyote accidentally shrunk himself down small and is actually unable to do anything about it. This is often cited as the only time the coyote has officially caught the Roadrunner, but we know it's not the first, and it won't be the last. Chuck Jones directed 1994's Chariots of Fur. There's no captures other than this giant mouse, but Chuck was 82 when he made this, and he only took the job in the hopes that they would never hire him again, to make way for younger animators. This was the final Roadrunner cartoon he ever made. So, the Roadrunner got lucky, but his luck is about to run out. Ooh, there we go. What happened? I had a notification. Super Antlers Twitch. Hey, Super Antlers. Ah, Super Antlers, of course. You emailed me recently. Yes. Hello. I am voice recording myself. You love Road Run Out. Thank you. I do try. Right, next up. From the 80s to the mid-90s, there wasn't much new Roadrunner material, the characters being moved to the sidelines, making just cameo appearances. Well, there was another one, sorry. In Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they briefly appear in this elevator sequence, but more so at the end. And there's this. They're hugging. They're hugging. I didn't account for this. The coyote has his arm around the Roadrunner. Does that count? I don't know. Might have to check those, because those look peaky, but it might be fine. I'll double check them later. I'm going to move on. In 1990, Tiny Toon Adventures put Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner into the roles of teachers for their protégés Calamity Coyote and Little Beeper. They also chase each other, but appear to be friends most of the time. I'm not focusing on the Tiny Toon versions of the characters, but Calamity does manage to catch Little Beeper. By having Fifi the skunk, the Pepe Le Pew stand-in, catch the bird for him. As for the mentors, there's this brief part where they both fail, but that's really it. Except for the Tiny Toons movie, How I Spent My Vacation. Except for the Tiny Toons movie, How I Spent My Vacation, where this happens. And you'll see what happens. Years of subverting expectations by escaping harm has now led to the subversion being the Roadrunner actually getting harmed. It happens in Animaniacs, and in Tasmania, It really is the era of humiliation for the speedster. And it gets worse for him. There's his advert for the reruns compilation show The Acme Hour on Cartoon Network, and this happens. Bloody hell, the lad has bloody done it. It's arguably non-canon, a non-Acme alternate universe, but there he is. But there it is. He's got him. Right. Speaking of commercials, throughout the years, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner have featured in a bunch of TV ads, from Cars to Pepsi to the Constitution. You'd know what I mean if you were here last week. In this advert for Honey Nut Cheerios, Roadrunner gets cornered by the coyote, and he's interrupted... Wait. In this advert for Honey Nut Cheerios, Roadrunner gets cornered by the coyote, and... In this advert for Honey Nut Cheerios, the Roadrunner gets cornered by the coyote... Fuck. He gets cornered by a fuck. In this... just every now and again I feel a wave of heat over my whole body. It's horrible. In this advert for Honey Nut Cheerios, the Roadrunner gets cornered by the coyote until he's in... what a program am I using? Acid Pro. Acid Pro number 8. In this advert for Honey Nut Cheerios, Roadrunner gets cornered by the coyote. God damn it, coyote. I have to say this word so much in this video. Why am I struggling? In this advert for Honey Nut Cheerios, Roadrunner gets cornered by the coyote until he's interrupted by... Wait, what's this guy's name? Buzz B? That's his name? His name is Buzz B? The sound he makes and what he is? That's like naming the bird on the cornflakes package. That's like naming the bird on cornflakes something like Cocklecock. That's like naming the bird on cornflakes something like Cocklecock. That's like naming the bird on cornflakes something like Cocklecock. I just really want to get Cocklecock out there, because it's like cock-a-doodle-doo and cock. Anyway. Like a rooster. Anyway. We've seen the Roadrunner get cornered like this before and be fine, but Billy Bob Buzzy B here is... Anyway. We've seen the Roadrunner get cornered like this before and be fine, but Billy Bob Bastard B Buzz here is... I want to, not just go fucking mad on his name. Anyway, we've seen the Roadrunner get cornered like this before and be fine, but Billy Bob Bastard B here finds it necessary to intervene, so I guess that counts. Now, a wise man once said, y'all ready for this? Alright. That's that segment. Now we're going to do a really short segment because it's about the movies, and I want to build up for here we go. We're going to talk about Space Jam for one line and move on because nothing happens in Space Jam. All right. Woo. All right. Here we go. Next up. Space Jam. No captures. Back in action. No captures. Little Go Beep grabs at one point, but doesn't stop. No captures. Wizard of Owl? No captures. Wait, that's it? Oh, okay. In Space Jam, there's only one brief chase, and at one point, Roadrunner In Space Jam, there's only one brief chase, and at one point, Roadrunner is in a neck brace. And back in action, Wile stops chasing the Roadrunner to target the main characters instead. So, because it breaks the formula to, play basket the ball, it doesn't give them a lot to actually do. There's the shorts too, but a lot was banking on the success of Back in Action to revive interest in more theatrical shorts, but when it came out as a massive bust, I'll go fetch the mop and bucket, the shorts were scrapped, leading to the dark night of the soul, known as the 2000s. And that's that chapter. We're now into the 2000s. And that's the most Space Jam's going to get mentioned in this video. Like, I would like to talk about it more, but legitimately, they have such a tiny role. So, all right. All right. Ooh. All right. Moving on. How are we doing? So, I've got half a page, then 2 more pages. All right. 2.5 pages. All right. Okay. I don't burp this much. It's just because I'm voice recording, so I'm constantly like emoting and like forcing my voice, so I'm like rejected so much. Yeah, I know it's a lot, but I don't do this like yes, I burp and fart and so on, but like, you know, I don't do this like, I'm like debilitated by burping. Like I have to take a quick 5 minutes just to burp a lot. It's just because I'm recording and it's like forcing a lot up, you know? All right. The 2000s were a bleak time for Roadrunner material. In baby Looney Tunes, they hardly appear. There's no chasing or injuries, just songs. There's no chasing or injuries, just songs. Which is probably worse. There were a series of officially made webtoons featuring... There was a series of officially made webtoons created, some featuring the pair. It's very rough, but in one short, Wile E. Coyote takes Roadrunner to court and wins. So I guess that probably counts too? Now Roadrunner is a wanted criminal. Yeah, fuck the police. I mean, have... yeah, fuck the police. I mean, let's have sex with the police. Oh no, that's worse. It's gonna have sirens and then like even more sirens. Then there's Lunatics Unleashed. That was a big face I did there. They rebrand the Looney Tunes to be dark and edgy, but still safe for kids, in a future where everyone is anime now. The edgelord descendants, Techie Coyote and Rev Runner, are now part of a crime-fighting team and are pretty much friends. There's still no chasing or catching, except for this one catch, so maybe? They acknowledge their ancestral rivalry, but that's basically it. Oh, I guess I should probably mention Seth MacFarlane's cavalcade of comedy. Oh, I guess I should mention the Seth MacFarlane cavalcade of cartoon comedy, since the comments will probably tell me I missed it, but yeah, he catches the Roadrunner, but it's a parody. It's not officially made by... But it's a parody. It's not an official Looney Tunes Warner Brothers thing, so it doesn't count. This concludes the mention of Seth MacFarlane's cavalcade of cartoon comedy. But then, in 2010 to 2014, we finally get another batch of theatrical shorts. This time in 3D. And they want you to know they're in 3D. Whereas the originals, they could have a punchline happen off screen. Here, they have to show off the 3D, so it's constantly like, wow, wow, wow. I'll do that part again. So it's constantly like, whoa, wow, 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 wow. I'll do that again. Here they have to show off the 3D, so it's constantly like, wow, 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 wacky is in your face. Christopher Walken. So, you know, they like catch the Roadrunner and they're like, wow, pretty fast. Okay. The These are a lot of fun. They do a great job of being faithful to the originals. But he doesn't catch the Roadrunner, so they can go... But he doesn't catch the Roadrunner, so they can go burn in a fire. God damn it! Alright. No, the Christopher Walken bit's not coming in, Louis. So the Coyote and the Bird were a cartoon without a show. Until the next chapter. Oh, apparently Aaron really wants to animate Christopher Walken, so In 2011, the Looney Tunes show takes the classic cast of characters and puts them into an animated sitcom. It's a bit jarring to see them personality changed into this very dry and often awkward tone, but it has some outstanding moments and seems to have gathered a newfound appreciation lately. Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner appear as wraparound segments, aka filler. This is also CGI, similar to the 2010 3D ones, but with a way lower budget, like the La River 11. This is, I have to say La River 11 twice in this one sentence. But with a way lower budget, like the La River 11, and no 3D, much like the La River 11. Much like the La River 11, and no 3D, much like the La River 11, and no 3D, much like the La River 11, much like the La River 11, and no, but with a way lower budget, like the La River, but with a way lower budget, like the La River 11, and no 3D, much like the La River 11, much like the La River 11, much like the La River, much like the La River 11. Much like the La... It's just not words anymore. But with a way lower budget. Much like the La River 11. And no 3D. Much like the La River 11. Yeah, I think I got it. Okay. Thank you, Aaron. We get a close call and a close encounter, but he keeps on running, so they don't count. At one point during this balancing bridge shot, the Roadrunner openly jumps into the Coyote's arms. I didn't account for this either. Willfully letting yourself get caught? I guess as the Coyote blew up the bridge, it's an intervention in a way, so yes? In the last of these shorts, Wile E. successfully catches the Roadrunner in a trap. It works! It actually works! Do that again. In the last of these shorts, Wile E. successfully catches the Roadrunner in a trap. It works! It actually works! He can't get into the trap to, eat the bird, though. Did you know that the Roadrunner has canonically eaten the Coyote twice? This bird is a monster. He needs to be stopped. The characters pop up a couple more times in the show itself, but just as cameo spots. Louis, thank you for the sub. The Looney Tunes show was followed up by Wabbit, later renamed New Looney Tunes, not to be confused with Looney Tunes cartoons, except it is confusing because this has more... The Looney Tunes show was followed by Wabbit, later renamed to... The Looney Tunes show was followed by Wabbit, later renamed to New Looney Tunes. Not to be confused with Looney Tunes cartoons, except it is confusing because this is a more confusing... I really want to roll into that, but it has to be one roll-on sentence. I have to do the whole from the top. The New Looney Tunes show was... The Looney Tunes show was followed by... The Looney Tunes show was followed by Wabbit, later renamed to New Looney Tunes. Not to be confused with Looney Tunes cartoons, except it is confusing because this has a more confusing naming system than the Fast and the Furious. No, not that one. This one. No, not that one. This one. All right. Because earlier in the video, the very first episode of Wile E. Coyote is called Fast and Furious. And earlier in the video, I make a joke about, no, not that one, this one. And now I'm actually talking about Fast and Furious, and I want Aaron to cut to the other one. But no, not that one, this one. You know, so, I'll just recall that one more time. Except it is confusing because this has a more... Except it is confusing because this has a more confusing naming system than the Fast and Furious. No, not that one, this one! Anyway, Wile E can talk and only chases the Roadrunner on a couple of occasions. No captures, but he gets dragged around. No captures, but he gets dragged around at one point. The vocalizations really highlight how giving the coyote a voice... The vocalizations really highlight how giving the coyote... The vocalizations really highlight how giving the coyote a voice adds nothing to the comic violence. You downloaded a supercut of the Fast and Furious. Same family. Speaking of comics, I'm not going to go through all the comics because, well, there's a lot. But one thing I want to mention is during the DC Meets Looney Tunes series, Wile E. Coyote... Speaking of comics, I'm not going to go through all the comics because, well, there's a lot. But one thing I want to mention is during the DC Meets Looney Tunes series, Wile E. Coyote hires DC's gritty and violent bounty hunter, Lobo, to go after the Roadrunner. It's so realistic and gruesome. It kinda works. I like it. They also do a short comic more in the Looney Tunes style, and here, Lobo catches the bird, but gets sued for damaging intellectual property. Because capitalism. Because, of course, capitalism. Of course. Because the real villain is capitalism. There we go. I like that line. That's another ad lib, but I like that one. Speaking of comics, oh no, I've done that line. And lastly, in 2020, Looney Tunes cartoons. These are actually still in production, but as of time of recording, there have been 9 Roadrunner shorts so far. In Cactus If You Can, he catches the Roadrunner in the suck of a vacuum, but gets hit by cacti instead. In Climate Control, he traps the Roadrunner in ice, but slips off before he can grab him. In Time Out, he manages to time freeze the Roadrunner, but either can't move him or can't keep him still. And in Multiply and Conquer, he works with clones of himself on an elaborate trap, and it actually works. And in Multiply and Conquer, he works with clones of himself on an elaborate trap, and it actually works. They get him. They actually get him. But then they fight amongst themselves over who gets to eat him, letting the Roadrunner get away. I want to redo that just because that's the last line before the conclusion, and I want to give that a little bit more of a finality to it. So, and in Multiply and Conquer, he works with multiple clones of himself on an elaborate trap. That's right. That's quite tricky to say. And in Multiply and Conquer, he works with multiple clones of himself on an elaborate trap. And it actually works. They get him. They actually get him. But then they fight amongst themselves and let the Roadrunner get away. Yeah. He really has learnt nothing. All right, now we're on to the conclusion. Nearly there, lads, nearly there. All right. Looking at the history of Roadrunner is to look at the history of Looney Tunes, their ups and downs, their ins and outs. No. Looking at the history of Roadrunner is to look at the history of Looney Tunes, their ups and downs. Will Space Jam 2 be the shot of secret special stuff? No, special secret stuff. Will Space Jam 2 be the shot of special secret stuff they need in time for... Will Space Jam 2 be the shot of special secret stuff they need for yet another comeback? We'll have to wait and see. Actually, I need to make an amendment to the scriptaroo. I'll fix that part later, but... After 70 plus years of Roadrunner, I can confirm that he's been caught by the coyote 13 times. Plus a further 6 occasions, depending on how much you want to stretch technicalities. Actually, I should probably... I'm going to do a variant of that. After 70 plus years of Roadrunner cartoons, I can confirm that he has been caught by the coyote 12 times. Plus a further 7 occasions, depending on how you want to stretch technique. After 70 years of Roadrunner cartoons, I can confirm he has been... After 70 plus years of Roadrunner cartoons, I can confirm that he has been caught by the coyote 12 times. Plus a further 7 occasions, depending on how much you want to stretch technicalities. That's more than I expected, and that number rapidly increased the more modern we got. I think that's because, like I said before, we're so used to the Roadrunner getting away all the time that now the subversion is that he actually gets caught more often than he did in the originals. But we've also seen that the shorts work better under more restrictions, while still experimenting with the formula, from Chuck Jones's disciplines, to exploring one gimmick in various ways, to new and exciting animation styles. So maybe Wile E. Coyote should never catch the Roadrunner. After all, the chase is more fun than the goal. So this part now I'm going to ad-lib. I haven't fully written it. I know the end. I have to bring the police chase stuff to an end. So I'm just going to ad-lib a bunch of shit and see what sticks. Problem is, I might have to re-record it depending if it peaks. So we'll just play around and see what happens. So, like this police chase, they'll never catch me. Beep 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 beep. Fuck! That's me falling down. Actually, no, I can't say fuck. I gotta stop and hold a sign and stuff, don't I? So that's the way it's done. So, like this police chase, they'll never catch me. Beep beep. And then there'll be a fall, a crash, and then like, right. So I'm gonna lean away from the mic, so you get that kind of distant effect. Oh, my fucking legs! How did that sound? Oh, my fucking legs! Oh, that's great. Oh, that's funny. Okay. I might have to play with that a little bit. But I think we're done. Fan, come back to me. Fan, please. Cool me down. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was so loud. Sorry. Right, I'm going to come back to this one. Here I am. I just had to follow you for that one line. Thank you, cool Maddie Draws. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, I've earned the fan. Thank you. Thank you. I think I have. That was an hour of torture. But okay, that's good. That's all recorded. So Aaron, I will prune that stuff a bit just to cut out all the stuff where I'm talking to chat and stuff. But if there's like if I do a few takes of one line, I'll give you them all so you can see which one feels best. But there we go. That was an hour long. Oh god, like it looks like I'm crying. I'm not. I have hay fever. That's why my eyes are a bit watery. But it's like, oh god, that was so hard. That's super interesting. I've never watched anyone record voice lines before. Oh well, I hope that was interesting. Like one thing that like I don't know how many people know this when it comes to voice acting, but I do a lot of like emoting with my hands, and my face is acting as well. And like, that is just you have to physical, even though it's voice acting, you have to physically act too. It really is like the best way of performing, because like the best way I can describe it is like, say I thought I was going to burp then, and I didn't. Say, you're on the phone to somebody, and you know when like they smile, and you can hear in their voice that they're smiling. Even though you can't see it, you can hear it. That's acting physically with your voice. So, there it is. Okay, so that's why it's important to like physically, you know, gesture and face act and stuff like that, and it really does like, yeah, it really helps with the actual performance. So yeah, that's basically how I do it. Okay, so through gritted teeth and frowning, both work. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna comb through those. If I have to re-record some stuff, that's fine. I'll do a few pickups offline. But the bulk of it's done. I can hand that over to beloved Aaron to chop, get that video done. There's a few bits I still need to do. This video is sponsored, so I need to record that part. I'll make that a video though. But basically done. I think we're done. I never thought into stuff voice actors have to do just to get the character. It's true. Yeah. A lot of time people are very much physically acting. It's easier. I find it harder to like, if I had to like act as a character who was angry and not frown, like I'd find that hard to do. You know, if I had to smile, I'm really angry. You know, it's like, no, that's just psychotic now. You know. But yeah, we're done. So I am going to go now. But thank you everyone for joining me on this voice acting thing. I was genuinely interested. I was genuinely wondering if people would find this interesting, because I'm not, you know, I'm recording like the same line of dialogue over and over again, and you know, I did wonder if people would care to watch that, you know, or is that so tedious hearing me struggle to say like whatever the fucking phrase was, you know, elaborate trap or coyote or whatever, you know, stuff like that, you know. But you seem to dig it, so yeah, good. Yeah. Also, like, I mean, I joked about playing music so that the audio couldn't be used by other people, but you know what? Fuck it. If you want to make something funny out of shit I recorded, go ahead. But just let me know. Credit me. That'd be nice. All right, I'm done. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for everyone. I can't even talk anymore. Thank you very much for joining me. But I am going to go now. So thank you very much, and goodbye.